On the last video, we introduced the concept of S.P.E.M.S, spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, and social. Today, I want to focus a little bit on the spiritual, or faith, as some of you might call it, is a very important ingredient in the success for all children, no matter what their diagnosis is, or even if they don't have a diagnosis. It's an important ingredient for them to develop and to grow as healthy as possible with the greatest success in all that they do. So for a very long time, scientists have appreciated the benefit of spirituality. Many scientists, including Albert Einstein, Ben Carson, George Washington Carver, Louis Pasteur, Marie Curie, all of these scientists that made wonderful contributions to the things we enjoy today, they had a strong spiritual health pillar, and they contributed their inventions or their discoveries in science to the motivation and encouragement they had from their spiritual. Also art, especially during the Renaissance. Many famous artists that you see in museums and we recognize automatically when we see pictures or sculptures, such as Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Michelangelo, El Greco. All of these great and famous artists had a spiritual health pillar. If we move to other professionals, such as sociologists or people that deal with community, state health departments have a faith-based section to their webpage and to their offices because they see the great benefits to help the community dealing with stresses and disasters and also health concerns such as smoking, such as cancer, such as domestic violence or child abuse. In the military, the training manuals and field handbooks that basic trainees use, there is always a section devoted to spirituality or faith. And it's directly related, based on the military's experience, to the strength and resiliency of the soldier, but also in prisons. And spiritual practices are a significant component to successful rehabilitation. Just ask any report provided by a warden or even by prison ministries. I'm a doctor, so I'm going to point out the importance that doctors place on the health pillar of spirituality. If you visit the CDC website or the NIH, CDC stands for Centers for Disease Control, and NIH stands for the National Institute of Health. These are the top organizations that guide and support all medical areas in this country. So there is significant research. I mentioned in the last video the benefits of spirituality for any diagnosis. Treatments work faster with the spiritual health pillar. Treatments have less side effects. Treatment lasts longer when the spiritual health pillar is involved. So, what can spirituality do specifically for my patients and your children who have autism? In autism, one of the key elements in some children with autism are not able to relate to things that are conceptual, things that are imaginary, things that you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't pick up. So when a child with autism has spirituality introduced by the family, they start at an early age to practice in speaking of a God, a creator, angels, spiritual beings that can't be seen or touched. There is some medical research that indicates if a child has an imaginary friend, they develop amazing social skills and coping processes as they grow. A child who has autism may not have easy access to imaginary play or creative thinking as a child who doesn't have autism. So the spiritual health pillar would give them an introduction, a source of socializing, and also a pleasant feeling of acceptance. And this is because a major component of spirituality and faith involves a big creator who's bigger than you, than me, than the universe. And this creator wants the best for all creations. A child with autism is bound to enter into an environment or a classroom or a playground or even a job in the future where people are not accepting, patient, people are critical, bullies are seen easy targets. Spirituality is a wonderful opportunity for children on the spectrum with autism to have the idea or the concept of someone greater than they are, who respects them, who encourages them, who accepts them, and who appreciates everything they do, as well as expecting great things for their life. It adds value to their life, it adds pride, it adds increased self-esteem. And this is very important for children with autism, since traditionally they get the opposite in their classrooms, in their groups, even in their families. So these are just some of the reasons why spirituality is an important health pillar, and I encourage everybody, my clients, my colleagues, and everybody that works with persons with autism to remind families about this important element of complete health. So now I think I'm going to do some exercise. Let's go see what exercise we can find to do here in the therapy center.